This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Fahrenheit 11/9. That's the name of the new documentary by Oscar-winning filmmaker Michael Moore. A stunning retelling of the 2016 election and its aftermath. 11/9. That's November 9th, the day Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election. In the film, Michael Moore crosses the country, documenting not only the rise of Trumpism, but also the teachers' strike sweeping the nation, the blue wave of progressive candidates in the 2018 primaries, the rise of student activism after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, and the water crisis in his hometown of Flint, Michigan. Michael Moore spares no one in the wide-ranging documentary, which takes aim at the Democratic establishment, the New York Times, and other mainstream media outlets, the Electoral College, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and even himself. Here's the trailer to Fahrenheit 11/9.
How the did this happen?
I'm sick and tired of people telling me that America's the greatest country because we can whip your ass.
I hate some of these people, but I'd never kill them.
How do you deal with this? You're never going to be able to unsee what you saw.
Try to impeach him. Just try it. You will have a spasm of violence in this country like you've never seen.
Governor Snyder, I got some Flint water for you.
When the operation of the machine becomes so odious, you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, and you've got to make it stop.
If nobody's gonna do it, then I gotta do it.
And I don't give a who you are. I'll fight you in the damn street right now.
Okay, how the did this happen?
The American dream is dead. Stop resisting.
The president's powers here are beyond question.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States.
Coming to an American city near you.
The trailer to Michael Moore's new film, Fahrenheit 11/9. It opens today in 1,800 theaters across the country. Well, earlier this week, Michael joined us in our studio. I began by asking him about the making of the film and if it's a sequel to his 2004 blockbuster, Fahrenheit 9/11, about George W. Bush.
It's not a sequel. It's the title just sort of came to us because Trump was declared president by the Associated Press at 2:29 in the morning on 11/9/16. But it is a cousin to that film in the sense that when Bush was installed in the White House and had us in a couple of wars fairly quickly, we were in pretty bad shape. And so Fahrenheit 9/11 grew out of a desire to try and halt his efforts, especially the war effort. We're in a different kind of war now. We're in a war with not just an individual who's taken over the White House because, again, he wasn't elected, but he was appointed by the Electoral College. But Trump is the result of decades of us allowing this country to go down a road that had very little to do with democracy and equal rights and what was fair, and very much toward letting the rich, letting corporate America, Wall Street, run the show and call the shots. So when I say that, for instance, that Donald Trump doesn't care much about democracy and is trying to whittle away whatever he can of what we call our democracy. That's really, to be fair to him, not really unusual. He's a CEO. He's a billionaire. Generally, CEOs don't run their businesses like democracies. They don't like democracy. That's not how they live. It's not how they run their business. And as billionaires, they want to grab as much of the pie for themselves as possible. So they're not into everybody having a slice of the pie or a fair slice of the pie or a seat at the table. So he's really just acting like most people of his class. You know, I mean, I got to believe if you're a billionaire, you've got to really hate a system that says it's one person, one vote. Because if we really are one person, one vote, that means there's 325 million of us and probably less than 1,000 of them. Imagine if you were on the other side, if you were one of them, that doesn't look very good. Because it means that 325 million can just suddenly pass laws and tell you what to do. So the basic concept of our democracy is that. But they know that they've been able to run that show because they've bought it. They buy the politicians, they buy the elections, and they have most working people in such a box that they know that if they were to protest, if they were to speak out, if they were to whistleblow, that would be the end of their income. And starting with Bill Clinton, we began eliminating the safety net when you don't have an income. And so we're now at the point where they've got those 325 million right where they want them, scared that they aren't going to be able to pay next month's bills. That statistic I saw recently, maybe you saw it, that the majority of Americans, almost 67%, do not have enough money in the bank or in their pocket to, if a loved one passed away tonight, and they lived here in New York, and the loved one was in California, they don't have the money for the plane ticket to go to California. In other words, the majority of Americans don't have $400 to $500 available in any form to them at any moment. That's the America we live in, and boy, does the billionaire class love that, because that's when you've got them. You don't ever think about when you're in that situation of complaining about what's going on, starting a union, or taking the day off to go to the funeral of a loved one.